So today I am so thrilled to have my true partner in crime. Forget Trini, it's Susannah and Anton. Anton Du Beke. I have missed you.
I love you. I think that is absolutely, it is Susannah and Anton. And I think you're absolutely right. Don't get me wrong, Trini's a lovely girl.
Yeah.
But it's Susannah and Anton is just a beauty. And I love you. I think that's the thing, is I love you.
I mean, the whole Strictly thing, let's be honest. You were never, ever, ever, with all the will in the world, going to make a dance with me.
I'll tell you what, you do yourself a disservice, because you were all right. I think the fear and the nerves of show day got to you more than the dancing, because in the studio when we were alone, just dancing, you and I, there was inspirational moments of pure talent.
You're so full of shit.
And then lunch, which I enjoyed.
I know, but we did. Let's be honest. We did more chatting, gossiping, eating those wafer biscuits. Do you remember? And drinking a cup of tea. Than we did dancing. We did fuck all dancing because we got on too well.
I know. Joyous.
Dancing got in the way.
A little bit. We were having the wafer biscuit was an absolute success, I felt.
Yeah, I agree. But you know what? Apart from the dancing, I think it was the best experience of my life.
Oh, do you? Oh, I'm so pleased. That's the one thing I like more than anything else. I hate it if somebody did the show and then came away thinking, God, I wish I'd never done that. It's, some people are quite good, some people are not so good, but the most important thing is that you come away having done the experience thinking that it was a wonderful experience, you loved every second of it. And that for me is really, really important. So I'm really thrilled that you didn't think I was a complete arse and got on your nerves constantly all day. So that makes me happy.
Never. It's just like, and I was so glad that last year you got a decent partner and not a duff one.
She was joyous, Emma. She was tremendous. She was very, very good. But like all these things, it's the time you spend with the person you're dancing with that's the most important thing for me. I mean, I loved spending the time with you as equally as much as I enjoyed it with Emma, because you build up your own relationship, and you talk about your own things, and the things that I found you fascinating and interesting and fabulous fun to be with. And that's the most important thing.
I don't think I've ever. There aren't many people who make me laugh as much as you do. There are two other people who are both homosexuals. Who make me laugh.
Well, some people say the jury's still out, but I'm slightly against.
Trust me. Anyone who's wondering, I know that it's not true. I know that man is straight as an iron bar. I do know.
I love it.
But it was amazing, and I love the fact that you always, every day, you would turn up like you are now in a shirt and tie, and I would turn up like I'd sort of arrived through the hedge backwards, and you would always be immaculate in your little tap dancing shoes and your little iron trousers and your little shirt and your little tie and the perfect hair, and you'd come in and go, oh, I've just dyed it now, or I've had a bit of a transplant, and you were just so open about everything.
Well, it's funny actually, because a couple of years ago I had a bit of a crop rotation upstairs, and a bit of hair moved about. I didn't jig about from Morris in Dublin and his wonderful team over there. And it's one of those things that years ago when I was growing up, if you had people didn't do hair transplants back in the day. It was all syrups and thatchers and weaves and the Irish upstairs. The Irish.
What was the first one? Syrups.
The syrup. The old. The old.
Oh, toupee.
Toupees, and of course you could spot them a mile off, and it was one of those things where there was a stigma attached, essentially, and you were basically, if you walked into a room with a toupee on, you were sort of waiting for people to go, hello, have you seen it over there, 4 o'clock, and then you'd have, and people would laugh at you and laugh at it, and you either took it or you'd have a sort of internal crisis and probably a mental breakdown. But now life is so sort of accepting, and life's changed in a number of ways. The worst thing you can do with any of these things, I've always felt, is to go into a room and say, no, I haven't had it done. And everyone goes, well, of course you've had it done.
No, you're so right.
Just say, I've had it done. It's like when the ladies have, once upon a time the girls were having a boob job and they wouldn't say anything, and people would go, hello, you've had your boobs done, and they go, no, I've not had my boobs. It's on, or a face, I haven't had any work done. What are you talking about? Having any work? No, I've had your face ironed. Of course you've had work done. But everybody deals with it in their own way, and so no one's right or wrong. But I've always felt that when I had a hair transplant, I just went out there and sort of talked about it and sort of did it in a calm way. I think they call it own it. I don't know, but for me, it was the natural thing to do, because if nothing else, it gave me a bit of humour. I had a bit of humour with it. So I'd walk into a room and go, hello, I've had a crop rotation. What do you think? And it's all like that. And I'd give it all a bit of that, and I'd flounce about and all that sort of stuff. It's no point in trying to hide the bleeding obvious. You might as well just talk about it. And, immediately afterwards, everyone goes, marvellous. And everything else immediately goes away. All the sort of the stigma, the potential talking behind your back, the Mickey taking, or any of that sort of stuff immediately goes away. And people go, oh, marvellous. And then nobody ever mentions it again.
Yeah, because what you do, and you've always done. I mean, you're very self-deprecating, which I love, but also you take the piss out of yourself before anyone else has a chance to, and so that's something that I feel you and I have in common. We take the piss out of ourselves, and then we take out the piss out of each other terribly, but with love.
But with love. But with love.
With
do
love.
It with love. You can't do it if you mean it. It's unpleasant.
It's hilarious. It's like, you were so rude to me. I remember once we were going. I
was never rude.
No, you were. And I was struggling, and then I did this step. I can't remember what the fuck it was, some hideous step. And I went, Anton, I did it. Look, I did. That was okay, wasn't it? And you looked at me and you went, Susannah, that was fucking horrendous. And I wet my pants. I was laughing so much. And that's why it was such a joy, because you just always said it how it was, and I loved you for that.
Oh, you are! I can't believe I was that rude.
You did. You said
you are amazing.
You said it because you knew I could take it, and you knew I would find it very funny.
I think that's the most important thing. You have to know the person you're dealing with, really, and you have to have understanding of their personality a little bit, really, and then you work in such a way that brings the best out in them. It's all about making you trying to get the best out of you that I can get, and trying to make you as confident as you can be, because I know the moment we walk onto the floor, it's a very lonely place. There's only the two of us, and everybody's watching. So it's a very difficult place to find yourself, and it doesn't get easier. It's hard.
It really is. It's such a weird thing, because the trust that I had to put in you, and I was lucky because you're an adult, some of all the professionals, I say, hand on heart, are the most amazing people. They all are, but some are, they're young. So I felt really blessed having someone with more maturity who I knew would be safe. And that's absolutely what you did. Even though you couldn't teach me to dance, you were shit at teaching me to dance. Some people are unteachable.
Even the Titanic sunk, you know what I mean? So what can I do?
Oh, Anton. So now it's like everyone's leaving. Kev's left. Is this some dastardly plan of yours? You're just getting rid of all popular dances so you can be number one. As always, you always were number one.
Get rid of everyone. Eventually, it's going to be Anton Du Beke, Strictly Come Dancing. That's all I'm going. That's what I'm aiming for.
Anton, so you changed room. This is which room are you in now?
I'm now in the living room. We've got this is a very old house. We're in a very old house. It's a lovely, lovely house. We absolutely love it. It's got lovely gardens. I remember talking to you about yours.
Yeah.
Oh, you made me laugh. Oh yeah, no, we've got about 150,000 acres of garden. That must take some mowing. And when it was all decorated in about 1985, the people who lived here had obviously quite a lot of money at the time. And they decorated it with wonderful swags and tails and lovely damask curtains and gorgeous handmade furniture, all that sort of malarkey. Gorgeous. But that was like about 35 years ago. Nothing had been touched since. So we moved in and nothing had been touched. And, you know, it's like when you move into a house, the kitchen doors, you pull a door and it falls off its hinge and a drawer doesn't open properly. But when you've lived with something for a long time, you sort of know all these things and you don't use them. So we got lots of bits and pieces done, but the actual interior decorating of the house, we've not really done because the babies are only 3 and they're drawing on walls and all that sort of stuff at the moment. So we're just sort of living and loving it, really. And then eventually we'll get round to
I so get that, Anton. We did exactly the same here because we've been here now for nearly 14 years, and there's still kind of lime green carpets, and you learn to love it. The kids say, "God's sake, can we get rid of that carpet?" I'm like, no way. I love it now.
It's just, I mean, I love these curtains, really. I mean, they're completely fabulous. I mean,
Fortune to get those.
It's just an absolute fortune. Back in the day when I had a proper job, I used to work in a place where we used to make handmade curtains, all heavy swags, and hang them permanently. Yeah, I used to be sort of an interior designer. Can I ask you a question, actually, just to digress? Is this light getting on your nerves? Is it too bright?
No, as long as it's not getting on your nerves, it's fine. They still look very young.
Well, I'm very youthful. But anyway, so yeah, we're loving that. We love the house and everything. But at some stage in the future, when the children get a bit older, we'll start to do some bits and pieces to it. But anyway, we've got a couple of different the Wi-Fi signal. We've got 2 Wi-Fi codes in the house.
Yeah.
One for that side and one for this side. Yeah. And I was upstairs just in an area where the Wi-Fi wasn't massively strong. So I've come down into the living room next to the hub, so we should be perfect.
Yeah. Is this, Anton, where you do your new fit at 50? Do you think you've become the sort of Joe Wicks for geriatrics now?
Well, I don't mind if I am. That would be lovely. I tell you what inspired me, really. This is in the other room, actually. It's in the baby's room with some other tremendous curtains that have become sort of famous. I mean, those curtains are quite extraordinary. But I do an 11s dance class at 11, and I do the Fit at 50 at 3. Now, the Fit at 50 thing is something I've been wanting to do for a while, really. I'll tell you what inspired me. I've been inspired by people like years and years ago. You'd remember this, actually. You'd know exactly what I'm talking about. Do you remember when Vidal Sassoon first became famous for the haircut? Was it him who created the bob? Who was the lady who did it on? Was it Mary Quant? No, she had the miniskirt. Oh, it was her with the bob. Yeah. And so Vidal Sassoon invented this, and then suddenly he becomes the most famous hairdresser in the whole world. He goes to LA and blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. Where did he come from originally? Was it Croydon or something?
Somewhere like that. Somewhere like that. Amazing.
And then he ended up the most famous hairdresser in the whole wide world. And tremendous, well done. But I remember watching him have this lifestyle show with him and his wife in his house. He's juicing and doing all these wonderful things. And when people weren't juicing and they were wandering around in some sort of tracksuit, fair workout clothes, and wandering about, giving it the full LA sort of sweepy hair on Malibu Island, and giving it all that gorgeousness. Yeah. And I thought, this is amazing. I love this lifestyle sort of, thing. And I've always wanted, and there's another guy called Richard, what's his name? Short guy, sort of curly hair.
Yeah.
Incredible voice. The element of the mints about him and stuff, but lovely enthusiasm and energy, and a short, and all these people in the room doing these workout videos and all this sort of stuff, but all people sitting down, people big, obese people, slim people, old people, young people, all sort of doing a bit of this, and he's going, "Come on, girls, let's do it," and he's getting all camp and fabulous. I love that, because what I love about it more than anything else is the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
The content, you can change.
Yeah.
It's the sentiment that I love, and the optimism and the enthusiasm. I love that, and the Fit at 50 thing is really just inspired by all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like when, you know, one gets to 50, and as you get older, you know what I'm talking about, really. The less you do, the less you want to do. And
yeah. I mean,
yes,
yes,
and everything is over-facing as well. Everything to do with fitness and health is it all seems like a massive pain in the ass and a bit too much to be bothered.
Yeah, and overwhelming. It's like you look at all those fitness videos and you think, well, I can never look like that person. It's so inaccessible. And
exactly. Anything that's a bit over-facing, or anything that you've got to join something, or you've got to lift all that, and you've got to do, it's all a bit. Even I go, really? Yeah. And I do it all my life. You know, I've been doing it all
you
my
are
life.
Incredibly fit. I mean,
well, I tell you, you're fit. I tell you.
Yeah, but any opportunity that shirt would be whipped off to reveal the abs and the pecs and the.
Go undo a button just for you.
Oh, it's just delicious. It's just so delicious. So, Anton, you know, the one thing that, well, one of the many things I love about you is your passion for clothes and for your passion for the highest quality clothes. So your suits from Huntsman. You know, there is no better tailor in the world, and of course Anton Du Beke goes to Huntsman. So, but have you ever had a wardrobe malfunction? I'm wondering if you are the only person on the planet who's never had a wardrobe malfunction.
Well, I've had a couple of incidences whilst I've been performing. You know, where a zip's broken and stuff. I had a when one wears a tail suit, if you know what a tail suit.
Yes.
And I know you know what a tail suit is, but with the tail suit, I'm just going to stand up. I hope you don't mind.
Hey, let's see that peachy ass.
Now look, I've been doing some squats. Can you see that?
Lovely. Yeah.
Now, as you can see on the normal trouser, I'm going to do this. The zip is about this long. So that's about that long. So it goes to there. Right, little zip. There you go. All the bits and pieces tucked away. Now, on a tail suit trouser, the trousers come up to here because the jacket goes to there and it cuts away, and then the tail appears. It's not a morning coat where you have a sweeping line. The tail suit has a definite break in there, and the tail suit goes. That's because when we used to ride horses, you'd get on the horse and you put the tails either side of the saddle, and then you wouldn't crease up all your jacket, right?
Okay, that's so like Matador,
And so you'd have a a bolero jacket. That's a slightly different effect. And so there's your tail suit. Now, of course, with a tail suit here, you need a higher trouser because you don't want the shirt between jacket and trouser. That is a disaster. That is the most unpleasant thing. That's like a pianist. Go sit down, play a piano. Don't talk to me with that affair on. Disaster. I don't want to see your shirt. So, but the thing is, when you have a long trouser, you have a long zip. And when you have a long zip, if it breaks, it billows quite a bit. It opens. And of course, I'm dancing. You have a lot of wafty shirts out of your thing, right? And so I'm dancing. I'm doing a show with hello, my darling. Look at you.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, and I'm loving talking to this beautiful lady to your right.
He forgot my name for a second. Anyway,
lovely talking to that lovely Sharon.
Go back to the billowing.
So I've just done a number with a young lady. We've done a little rumba. We've done something in a bit of lycra. Go on, girl. We're giving it all that. Bit bendy, gorgeous. Touch me here. Lovely. Off we go. And then somebody else comes on, does the number, and then Erin and I are coming on to do something elegant and fabulous. So I've had to do a quick change into my tail suit. Erin stood there already in some gown of fabulousness, and I am whizzing on a tail. I've got one number to do a quick change. These people are dancing. They've got one number to do a quick change. So I whiz on the tie my own tie, my thing, cufflinks in, trousers on, jacket on, whiz up the zip. Erin's going, come on. We're going to be late. I whiz up the zip. Of course, it breaks off in my hand.
Oh my God.
Now I've got this situation, wafty. the zip is like this big hole, and I'm wandering around, and I've got all this. So I've had to walk onto the floor with Erin pressed against me, and then we walk onto the floor like this, and then we start dancing, and then we have to walk off like this. That was the worst disaster. I mean, that, and of course Craig Rebel Horwood thinking that they were my own teeth when I was doing Austin Powers.
Yeah, that was a classic. Oh my God, that's just, how dare he? But it was very funny. That was very funny.
Very
and
funny.
You took it brilliantly. Have any of your partners or anyone within the Strictly realm had a major wardrobe malfunction?
There was a moment on Strictly Come Dancing years and years ago when Lilia Kopilova, I think she was dancing with Darren Goff, or might have been Matt Dawson at the time. They were doing samba, and she had some little two-piece affair on, and the strap broke on her dress, Lilia, and so it was all sort of, right there, boob out moment. So she grabbed hold of this dress to keep herself intact and danced the whole of the dance one-handed, which was remarkable, holding her frock, bearing in mind that she'd choreographed all this stuff for two hands and side by side, and Darren was going to be doing all this stuff, and she ended up having to do the whole thing one-handed and dance the whole thing holding herself intact like this, because it went right at the beginning of the number. It was unbelievable, and that was amazing. I mean, Erin's had a couple of moments. She had a dress. We were on stage once. She had this halter neck dress up round here, and then the thing just broke, donk, and like that just fell forward, having to do this frock up whilst dancing, which was hilarious.
Oh my God.
I mean, hilarious.
Have you got anything that is, I suppose I should remember this, but anything that is like your comfort blanket, something that you couldn't live without, and let's say when you're touring around the country with Erin, is there anything you always take?
In a sort of a comfy sort of clothes sort of way.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, you have your lovely zip-up cashmeres and things like that.
Yeah. I love those. I tell you what I love cashmere. It's so poncy, I apologise. I love a nice bit of merino wool. I can't deny it. But I love a bit of cashmere. I can't help it. I love cashmere. And I do love a little zip up the front cashmere, some sort of affair, just a jump, some top that you just whiz up there. And because underneath it, you can pop anything. You can pop a little T-shirt on. Hello, I said the word, and no one need know. And then I pop on a little cravat underneath there, and I whiz it up, and you're good to go. And I love that. The thing about me is this: for years, for all my life, I've tried to be cool. I've tried to be cool, and I've never made it. It's never happened. And you said to me once, as I came into the studio, I came in with a new jumper on. And I said, what do you think? And you went, looks like a bit of a triad. And I went, you what? And you went, oh, it looks like a bit of a triad. And I went, what do you mean a triad? You went, looks like you're trying too hard. And I went, oh, I mean, cut to the quick. So that got whipped off and given to the charity shop. So I can't do cool. So I always end up coming back to wearing shirts and ties and jackets, because I put on a suit and I put on a shirt and a tie, and I look in the mirror and I go, it looks right. I'll tell you, do you want to know? Do you want to know who my clothing inspirations are?
Yeah, tell me.
If I could look like somebody, these are the people I want to look like. Obviously, Fred Astaire. There's a couple of movies. There's a movie called Easter Parade.
Yep, love.
Which is one of the most beautifully dressed movies ever. And another movie called The Bandwagon. Yeah. And he wears clothes in those two movies that are just beautiful. And I want to look like Fred Astaire in that respect. The other person who's I sometimes wish I could be, is Hercule Poirot. But David Suchet's Hercule Poirot, I think, is the most beautiful man ever.
Yeah, and I get that, but you do emulate both those looks. That you've succeeded. If those are your two icons, Anton, you have succeeded. Well,
that is the nicest thing you could ever say. I just think they're the most gorgeous.
Because as soon as you try, like I remember that top that you came in, and basically you were trying to be sort of Jay-Z or Kanye West or something. And sweetheart, you're never going to be a rap artist. And I'm the same. I'm the same as you. I cannot do cool. There's just never in a million years. I just can't do it.
I popped on a pair of skinny jeans once or twice, not in the recent distant past, and I have to be honest with you, I don't look too bad. If I put on a nice suede boot or something,
a little suede booty.
I look all right with a cashmere zip up and a cravat. I tell you, I'm pulling it off. I think it's to do with the thighs. But as soon as I whiz on a Converse, I look like I'm having a midlife crisis.
Yeah. I think part of it is about posture as well. The posture does two things. Good posture keeps you young. Okay, I think it makes you look young. But also it prevents you from being cool because you have a natural elegance. So you can never be cool.
Oh, I'd never thought of that. Oh, okay. That makes absolute sense. That makes absolute sense. I've never seen anybody who's cool have good posture. You're quite right.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
I never thought of that either until now about posture.
You're very clever.
But okay, Anton, what is your birthday suit? The one that you wear for special occasions? I guess it's just more of the same, isn't it, for you?
Well, it is really. I just get out a new suit and a new shirt. I like I had a wonderful talking about morning suits earlier. I had a beautiful morning suit made, which I wore to Royal Ascot, which was absolutely beautiful. I loved it, and I went somewhere posh in Jermyn Street and bought myself a lovely waistcoat, and I got myself a new shirt made. It was also Hannah's birthday. Hannah's birthday falls during Royal Ascot, so we had a lovely thing, and Hannah looked amazing. Got Hannah organised, and then I got my thing that, and I got a new top hat from Locks. I've got this beautiful grey top hat from Locks with a black band as well, which is absolutely beautiful. So if that sort of thing makes me happy. I love wearing the full regalia.
That's just and that is, it's like, where do you step up from, because you wear so many different things because of your work and because of Strictly and because you have this amazing collection of suits. I guess for you that is the pinnacle, because it's something that most exciting thing to wear, because it is something that you don't get to wear very often, whereas everything is
an event.
Yeah,
it's always an event. When you get done something that's an event, then it becomes a bit more special, doesn't it? You're doing it for a special occasion. And so that was lovely. But I love wearing the tail suit, the top hat. Anytime I can put the top hat on, it makes me very happy.
Yeah.
I love wearing hats in general, actually.
Yeah.
I do enjoy a hat.
Yeah. Oh, darling. And so, I interviewed, who was the last person? Sandra Rhodes, who is amazing. And she was telling me, because she has that fabulous pink hair.
Yeah.
And I was asking her about kind of home dyeing, which she's always done. And apparently, John Lewis's sales of, where this is going, sale of hair dye has gone up by 149%. And I wondered if you were entirely responsible for that. And I need to be, Anton.
Look at that. You could have a little something around the edges, I won't deny.
But I don't want to do it myself.
No. No, you can get some. I mean, I'm never one for doing a bit of home anything really, but maybe a little. Maybe one of the girls could do it for you.
Have you seen? Where's Esme? Esme's hair. She did hers, and it's one ginger. I'm not. I'd rather be grey.
Fair enough. No, if that's the other option, I'd stick as.
Yeah, I think I just got to leave it for now. Anton, I cannot tell you, your face and your voice and your presence in my kitchen has lifted my corona time, and I miss you so much.
You are a joy. Thank you for asking me to spend this time with you.
I love you so much.
You're a beauty. I love you so much.
Take care, my darling. Lots of love.
Bye, my darling.